robust.
But right now, the games that are at question, the games that everyone are kind of not necessarily complaining about, but there's definitely a growing group of viewers who are saying these games have overstayed their welcome. They're way too long and you need to play new stuff. We're talking about Clair Obscur and we're talking about Blueprints, okay? Really, the question here, I feel, is not, are these games good? They are. They're outstanding games. Clair Obscur is arguably one of the best RPGs I've ever played in my life. It, to me, it's standing with as good of games as like Final Fantasy X, Lost Odyssey, those kind of games. Blue Dragon that I played back in the day and really loved. Like, it's that good. In fact, as a modern game, visually it's amazing. The gameplay elements are great. The story's getting more interesting. I actually don't have a complaint about Clair Obscur at all. I really love the game. Okay. Blueprints is the best puzzle game I've ever played in my life. And I don't say that with any exaggeration or coming quickly to the conclusion. I'm not a big puzzle guy, but when I play a puzzle game, usually it's few and far between. Blueprints is super good. I'm blown away with how much fun the game is when you get into its mysteries, when you get into the story. It's just really, really riveting. Okay? So I'm having a great time with both games. But every time that I play them, I get complaints. I get a dip in viewership on the streams. The videos on YouTube take days and days to even get any real views. And now the sad fact is both of these playthroughs, after 30 plus hours of playing them, are now sadly getting way less support. This week, I did 2 streams of Clair Obscur, one of which we did well, and the other, which was yesterday, was my lowest supported stream of the year, and actually my lowest supported stream since I played Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth a year and a half ago. We didn't even raise $40 on yesterday's Clair Obscur stream. Okay? Blueprints. Sadly, again, a game that was doing really good when it first came out. Then I said, well, new games are coming out. We have to put it to a night stream. And immediately I got big pushback. People saying, man, you really shouldn't have pushed that to a night stream because we can't really attend the night streams. We want to support it, but it has to be a day stream. So I brought it back to day streams, and then it started getting support again. I was like, ooh. But now all of a sudden, last stream, a couple days ago, we didn't hit the support goal. Did it do poorly? By no means. We raised over $100 and I was okay with that. But the point I'm making is you can see there is fatigue for these lengthy games. Okay? As a variety creator, I face a dilemma. When a lengthy game comes out, the first dilemma I face is, do I even play it? Because I know that attention on the internet, particularly on streams for games, is kind of short-lived unless it's a super duper hyped game, right? If a new FromSoft game that's not a co-op drop in, drop out game like Night Rain's going to be, but a new Dark Souls, a new Elden Ring, or the Elden Ring DLC last year, right? Those games, even though they're lengthy, seem to get a lot of attention all the way through, okay? Big, hyped games. If a new GTA dropped tomorrow, GTA 6, I feel like I'd get attention the entire playthrough, okay? But outside of these exceptions, all right, it seems like it's very hard to maintain attention for anything that's being played more than a couple of weeks, all right? Even Doom, The Dark Ages, a game that was only around 20, 25 hours long, that was hard to maintain attention on, and I played the living crap out of it in the first week. I beat Doom The Dark Ages within 8 days of its release. Or is it 9? I think it was 9 days of its release. But even then, people said, oh, that was too long, and, you know, it was boring, okay? Now, here's an example. King Ferb says, well, Suikoden did well. You're right. And I think the reason Suikoden did well is 2 factors. Factor number 1, that was the longest game I had played in a very long time. We had actually been playing a lot of shorter games, indie games, right? Suikoden was kind of like, oh, a throwback. Phil hasn't done an RPG in a while. This is cool. It's refreshing to see him go back to that formula that he likes a lot. Suikoden also was a game from my youth, so I knew a lot about it, and you could see how much I was genuinely enjoying every moment I was playing it because I was reliving these awesome moments from the original playthrough. And this was a game that there was buy-in. I told everyone, as long as we kept getting support for the playthrough, I would continue to play it as a daytime stream all the way through. And it happened. People literally supported the entire playthrough. And to which I agreed, hey, this summer, let's actually do a playthrough of Suikoden 2, which is also in that collection. And people are like, yeah, we can't wait for that. Okay. So I think that was kind of an exception. But I think what's happened now is after Suikoden 1 ended, then we had another lengthy game, then another lengthy game, now another lengthy game. And now it's like, oh man, now Phil's inundated with a bunch of lengthy games again. And we were liking the fact that he was playing more short-term, fast-paced, indie-style games and action-based games, multiplayer games. Now he seems like he's getting back into that formula of everything takes 2 months to beat. And this is a problem because as a variety creator, all right, the dilemma I face is, do I even bother playing these lengthy games? Because if I don't, case in point, Metaphor, I get nothing but flack for it. Phil, how dare you skip Metaphor? Aren't you aware it's like the best game of 2024? You really missed out on a gem. No, I know. I played 12 hours of it. I played 12 hours of Metaphor and I loved every moment of it. And I very much wanted to play it, but no one showed up. By the end of the 12-hour demo, people were not on the stream anymore and I was making nothing. So in the viewership and support, people were telling me they didn't want this playthrough, so I didn't do it. Then everyone yelled at me after the fact. So what was I supposed to do? You guys know I'm a variety creator, and you know that I don't just sit here and play one game nonstop for 2 weeks. So when you're looking at a game that's going to be a 40 to 60 hour playthrough, you always have to understand something. That will mean that's a 2-month playthrough for me. And there's not much I can do about it, because if I did sit here and played the same game for 2 weeks, attendance, engagement, and support would plummet because I'm a variety creator. I'm not just Mr. RPG, Mr. FPS, Mr. Fighting Game, Mr. FromSoft. I'm the jack of all trades and the master of none. So because of that, I have to juggle, right? And to be honest, that's why I've had the longevity that I've had. That's why the guy who started videos back in 2008 is still able to make a living making similar videos in 2025 because I have kept the variety going. Right now, I'm doing a podcast. Then we're doing Blueprints. Tonight, we're doing Minecraft. Tomorrow, we're going to do Clair Obscur and Night Rain. Then there's going to be fighting games on Friday. Every stream, you get a different audience. And the audience that likes that particular game will show up, engage, and support with that game, but may not show up for the other. So even though you look at my stream and you say, oh my God, Phil only has 150 viewers on his podcast and his videos of the playthrough are only getting 200, 300 views. Yes, but you have to understand that that is separate from my overall viewership. My overall viewership is each game has a pocket of viewers that comes to enjoy it. And they'll come back when there's another game that they're interested in, you see? So you have to understand that. And a lot of people don't, all right? The reason I'm here is because of the variety. Because some people say, well, if you just played Clair Obscur nonstop for 2 weeks, you would have beaten it and then no one would be bored and you wouldn't have the problems you're having right now. Yes, and by the time that the first week ended, 80% of my viewership would have complained, tuned out, not come back, and I would have went out of business. That's not an exaggeration. People are here for variety. That's what DSP gaming is all about and always has been. I can't just play one game nonstop for 2-3 weeks. So because of that, do I play lengthy games? That's even question number one. Do I even bother playing them? Because when in a case of a game like Clair Obscur, I absolutely love this game. But now when I play it, I get people yelling at me, telling me, oh, I did it all wrong. What do you mean I did it all wrong? Oh, well, you're doing side content. That's boring. All we want is story. Wait a minute. Back in the day, when I was a full-time YouTuber, okay, before I became a streamer, my methodology was, on release day, run to GameStop, buy all the new releases, bring them home and unbox them, immediately start playing them, and literally rush through the game as fast as I could. Do not take time to take in the scenery. Do not explore. Do not do side content. Literally full speed to the finish line. Because if I could be the person who would play through that new game as fast as I possibly could, okay, and then get that playthrough out fully on YouTube, I could be on to the next game, and I could trade in that game right away to get almost maximum value back when you could actually trade in games for high value. Those times are long gone. And I could be on to the next. This was the way I operated on YouTube. And this got me incredible notoriety, huge views, and made me Mr. New Playthrough. People always came to DSP Gaming because they knew, dude, within 2 days of a new game out, Phil beat it. And we can see the whole playthrough and judge for ourselves if we want to play it or not. This is great. That was my catch. That is what I was known for on the internet, okay? But what ended up happening was that over the years of, say, 2010, 2011, 2012, the internet started to push back against me and said, we don't like this methodology anymore. We don't like the way you conduct yourself, because what's happening is you're rushing through games so fast. You're not seeing the real game. You're only seeing this one very narrow portion of the game that's narrative, and you're skipping everything else. So how can you fairly judge a game, give an opinion on it, review it, and tell us if you like it or not, if you are literally running for the finish line and skipping a vast part of the content of each and every game that you play? Okay? So in regards to that methodology, I changed it. Over the years, I evolved, particularly when I became a streamer in 2017. I said, well, if we're going to do these live streams and they're interactive, then it's okay if I take my time. Because if I take my time, we can enjoy the game and react to it together. We could have conversation about it live. It's more of a social aspect rather than me just sitting here playing the game offline for myself. So let's do that. And we did. And my playthroughs became more lengthy, more drawn out, seeing more side content. I replayed old games that I had rushed through previously, this time doing more full and complex playthroughs that I really enjoy. And so everything changed for the better. But now what's happened is culture has changed. Everyone wants instant gratification. Everyone wants everything right away without having to wait a long time for it. And people want to talk about a game for literally 3 days and then move on to the next. Clear Obscure was hot for a week, but if you didn't know all about it in the first week, no one cares about it week 2. But wait a minute, it's a 60-hour game. How could I ever get through the whole game in a week? Too bad, we're on to the next already. That's how gaming is now. That's not how it used to be, but that's just how it is. So now, when a lengthy game comes out, and I'm thinking to myself, well, everyone's telling me to play it. Everyone says I don't skip it because it's going to be the biggest game ever. All right, I'll try it. And then I play it at my own pace. We're enjoying it. Oh, you're doing it wrong. What do you mean? Well, everyone else already beat it. I've only played it for a week. Yeah, it's already done. Everyone did 60 hours in it. They're done. What do you mean? You know? So, in regards to Clair Obscure, here's what's going on. As you play through the game, incrementally, the character who serves as your vehicle for the game, Esquire, you ride him and he's fast travel basically because he goes over the overworld map. You don't have to fight when you're on his back. He at first can only go over the ground. Then after a while, he can break crystals to go to new areas. Then he can swim. Then he can start to swim through coral. Eventually, he's going to be able to dive and jump and fly and do all this other stuff. Each time that you get to a milestone in the story, he gains a new ability, and then all this new content opens up in the game. So each and every time that this has happened, I explore the map and I do content. There's an optional dungeon over here, an optional super boss over here. Now, normally in the game, you wouldn't be able to do all the content because it's tough. For example, there's super dungeons that have opened up that I walked into them level 30 and the enemies are level 70. Whoa. Well, you shouldn't be able to beat that, but I can. Why can you beat it? Well, let's see. Because, FYI, I've played turn-based RPGs my whole life, so I'm good at them. And I played fighting games. So why does that factor in? Because in fighting games, you need incredibly good hand-eye coordination. You need to be able to do timed button presses and joystick taps in order to counter what your opponent is coming at you with. So how does that factor into Clair Obscure? Well, the combat system has a parry system. if you're playing this game and you run into something that's really tough, as long as you can read its attacks and parry by pressing a button when it hits you, you can literally absorb all its damage and then turn it back against it with a counterattack. Essentially, if you're good at parrying, you're invincible in Clair Obscur. No kidding. It's just true. You will actually beat pretty much everything in the game if you're good at parrying. So I go into a level 70 dungeon at level 30, and I start winning. And people are like, that doesn't make any sense. Literally no other person who played this game walked into this dungeon at your level and was able to complete it. Well, I can, because I'm different. Do you remember when I played Elden Ring and we finally walked into the open world map for the first time? And right there in front of you is that knight on the horse with a big ass weapon. And everyone said, "Law, we'll take him on," and got completely trounced by him and said, "Fuck this, we'll go back later." I said, "No, I'm going to beat that guy right now." And it took me like an hour and a half, but I did it. On that very first stream of Elden Ring, I persevered. I learned the pattern. I beat that knight. And that was an incredible challenge, but that was an awesome way to open up that challenging playthrough to show that I had the skill level to overcome. That's exactly how I'm playing Clair Obscur, okay? In Clair Obscur, when this side content is opening up, and most people say, "Fuck it, it's too hard, I'll come back later," I was like, nope, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to see if I can do it. And I've been able to do it all. I think there's only literally one super boss and one other area that it was just so instant death, and the health pools were too big. There was no way I was going to be able to beat them. So I said, all right, I'll come back to those later. But for the most part, I've done everything else. Okay? People are telling me I did it wrong. Well, now because you did that, you're over leveled. Well, wait a minute. If I skipped all the side content and I only did the main story, then you would have complained that I missed all the side content of the game and I rushed through it. Hence, I don't really know, I don't have a good idea of the game, and the playthrough sucked because I just rushed and I didn't take my time. You know, like you guys told me back in the day, and everyone said that those playthroughs sucked, right? So I changed myself in the last 15 years to be a different kind of creator per your feedback. Now all of a sudden, that's wrong. I should have just turboed through this game, apparently. Okay? So I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to do, because every time it seems I play something, I'm somehow doing it wrong. Even when I'm listening to direct feedback, I'm somehow doing it wrong. I don't get it, okay? Now, in the case of Clair Obscur, if you believe that doing the side content actually ruins the game, you have the right to that opinion, but you should take that opinion and you should direct it towards the parties who are culpable for that, the game devs. If the side content of the game is actually not meant to be played, then go complain to them and say, why is it in there? Right? If by doing the side content, I become so overleveled that nothing in the game will be fun anymore, then why are you complaining to me? I don't, does it make any sense? Does it? I'm just playing the game that was presented to me. I'm playing the parts that open up in the story as I approach them. Hell, that super dungeon was actually right there in line with the story. It wasn't even like, oh, I went out of my way to go find it. It was literally right there. Now, it showed danger red, but it was right in front of me. Let me give it a shot. Oh, look, I just beat it. And now I'm over leveled. Well, how is that my fault? Because I'm too good at the game? Literally what you're saying is, because I'm so good at the game, the playthrough sucks. That's exactly what you're saying. I'm so good at Clair Obscur, my playthrough's bad because nothing's beating me. That's really what you're saying. It's, if you had played the game and you were finding all this in trouble and adversity and you were raging and basically you were, sucking at the game, then we could make more memes, right? Then we could do clips and we could put them on X and on TikTok and on Reddit, and we could have millions of views making fun of how bad you are at the game. But you're not doing that, so your playthrough sucks. Fuck you. Yes, every one of you out there, fuck you. Anyone who says this kind of dumb shit, go fuck yourself. You're a fucking waste of my time, and you're a waste of life if that's all you think. Because Darkseid feels good at something, his playthrough sucks. No, you're a loser. If all you care about is toxicity and failure, and all you want to do is bring someone down because they're good at something, you're the fucking problem. Not me. My playthrough doesn't suck. My playthrough is one of the best playthroughs of Clair Obscur because I'm showing you that anyone who has skill can actually beat any portion of this game at any time. All you need to do is time the parries. Tell me another fucking content creator who's made a playthrough like that of that game. Name one singular one. I'd love to hear it. So because I'm doing something differently, better than everyone else, and you can't make fun of me for it, you're mad. Too fucking bad. Go fucking jump off a cliff. Because that's about the value that you have if that's the kind of person you want to be. You're a toxic individual on the internet who only cares when someone's in suffering and misery. That's fucked up. Seriously, what is wrong with you? If that's your mentality,